They laughed at her, mocked her, told her she was impure, unworthy, that God would never touch her footsteps. But she waited. For years. Alone in the forest. For a promise. The world had forgotten. Who was this woman? This humble ascetic whose name echoes softly in the pages of the Ramayana, but whose devotion shatters all boundaries of time, caste, and doubt. Shabari was born in a tribal village, where her fate was written the moment she took her first breath. Born into a so-called untouchable caste, her world was surrounded by rituals she was never allowed to touch, temples she could never enter, gods she could never pray to. But even as a child she had questions. Why would a god make me unworthy of himself? And on the night of her own marriage, decorated, dressed, yet disillusioned, Shabari did something no one expected. She ran away. Not out of fear, but faith. Faith that beyond man's rules there existed a God who looked at the soul, not the skin. Alone and wandering, she came upon the ashram of sage Matanga. She didn't ask to be taken in. She quietly began cleaning the grounds, picking thorns from paths, fetching water, doing what she could, unseen. The sages mocked her, an outcast in an ashram, but sage Matanga saw something others couldn't, the purity of bhakti. He said, "One day, Sri Ram himself will come to you." That one line became her life, her breath, her reason to exist. Years passed, seasons changed, empires fell, but Shabari waited. Every morning she would pluck berries, taste each one, and set aside only the sweetest. She wanted to offer only the best to her Ram whenever he came, but doubts crept in. Was it real? Had her guru been wrong? Would he ever come? Or was she just a foolish old woman in a forgotten forest? And then, one day, she felt it. The earth beneath her shifted. The birds paused mid-song. The air carried the fragrance of divinity. He had come, Sri Ram, Maryada Purushottam, Vishnu's avatar, in front of a tribal woman, who had nothing but love to offer. To the world, they were half-eaten, touched, impure. But to Ram, they were prasad, offered with such love that even the heavens bowed down. As she wept at his feet, Ram said, "Shabari, your love has built a temple in my heart." And in that moment, the woman whom the world called unclean became immortal. Shabari's story isn't about miracles, it's about faith that outlives logic, devotion that breaks barriers, and the idea that the divine doesn't dwell in gold palaces, but in the hearts of the humble. Today, as we judge others by class, caste, appearance, or education, maybe we need to ask ourselves, do we even understand bhakti the way Shabari did? At Episteme, we bring you stories like this, not just to entertain, but to awaken. These are not just myths, they are mirrors of who we were and who we must become again. If this story touched your heart, if you felt the love of Shabari and the grace of Ram, then join us. Subscribe to Episteme, rediscover Indian wisdom, because every story here is a piece of your soul waiting to be remembered.